Om. Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Guru Me Deva, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada, Saraswati Namastubhyam, Varade Kamarupini, Vidyarambham karishyami, siddhirbhavatu me sada. We will start with verse number 58. Aralam te pali yugalam ag yugalam garajayantanaye. Aralam te pali yugalamagarajayantatanaye. Janyatanay, Rajanyatanay, Aralam te pali yugalamaga Rajanyatanaye, ye na keshamadhate kusumasharako danda kutukam, na keshamadhate kusumasharako danda kutukam. Aralam te pali yugalamagarajanyatanaye na keshamadhate kusumasharako dandakutukam tirashchino yatra shravanapathala pathamullangya vilasan tirashchino yatra shravanapathamullangya vilasan आपंगव्या संगो दिशति शरसंधा संधानधीषणाम् आपंगव्यसंगो दिशति शरसंधानधीषणाम् तिरश्चीनो यत्र श्रवणपथमुल्लङ्घ्य विलासन् अपाङ्गव्यासङ्गो दिशति शरसन्धानधिषणाम् अरालं ते पालीयुगलमगराजन्यतनये केशामाधते कुसुमशरको दण्डकुतुकम् तिरश्चीनो यत्र श्रवणपथमुल्लङ्घ्य विलासन् अपाङ्गव्यासङ्गो दिशति शरसन्धानधिषणाम् Aralam, curved. So curved. Now, till now, if you see, he has been describing the eyes and the length of the eyes going up to the ears and so on and so forth. Slowly, slowly, the Acharya is moving away from the eyes and he's slowly going to other parts of the body. Right? If you remember the basic structure, the first 49 verses, we were talking about the spiritual aspects of how we worship Devi, the whole aspect of the Sri Chakram, the Ida, the Pingala, the Sushumna, the structure of the Sri Chakram, right? The Bindu, the Dashara, the Ashtakona, etc., etc. All of that was described. Now he has moved into the physical aspects of how we visualize Devi when we are going to sit and be in meditation with her. Before we go ahead, we have to understand, is that necessary? Is the Meru or concentrating on the Meru not enough? Now, unfortunately, the human mind, untrained human mind, cannot visualize something which is abstract. And the Meru, it's a geometrical shape. So very difficult for you to start your concentration at that point. Even more difficult to go into the center of the Bindu and think only of that one Bindu. And then actually impossible to say, oh, I will think of nothingness, of shunyata. I will be thinking of the immensity of this entire cosmos, which is Brahman. That is not possible. So therefore, we use the whole structure of a form and use that, and that is what Acharya is teaching us. So now going back to the shloka. Aralam, curved, te, your, Pali Yugalam. Pali Yugalam, the space between the eyes and the lower lobe of the ears. This part of the body, this part, right? The space, Pali Yugalam. So Pali, this place is Pali. Pali Yugalam, two. Agaraja, Agar, Agaraja, Tanaye. Tanaye, daughter. Agarajan, Agarajan is the person who does not move. So, king of mountains. Nakesham adhate. It will not cause in everyone. Kusuma shara kodanda kutukam. The shara kodanda, kusuma shara. Kusuma shara means flower arrows. Shara is arrow. Kusuma means flower arrows. Who carries flower arrows? Flower arrows typically are carried by Manmatha or Madana. And Lalita obviously has 5 flower arrows. They are different. They are not the 5 flower arrows that cause disturbance. They are the 5 flower arrows that cause the quelling of the disturbance. So here, he has intentionally played on that she is the one who is carrying these 5 flower arrows. So he means the beauty of the bow of Manmatha. Kutukam, the beauty of Kusumashara Kodanda, the bow. Kusumashara is the bow of Manmatha. Kodanda is the name of the bow. Kutukam. So that the beauty of that is describing. Tirashchina yatra, when placed horizontally. Now, how is a bow normally placed? A bow is held like this, right? But if you place it horizontally, then it will appear like this, right? So he's saying, Tirashchina yatra ullangya, beyond the ears, vilasan, gleaming, apanga vyasanga, seeing with the outer corner of the eyes, kataksham, with a corner, side glance, dishati, giving, shara sandhana dhishanam, appearing to be fixing like an arrow, like we fix the arrow. What is he actually describing? He's saying the curved space between your eyes and the outer lobes. This part where Priya, you will be, I think this part is called the sphenoid bone, right? Here. This is the sphenoid. So that, and this is raised, right? Slightly. And in one of the indicators of good beauty is to have raised cheekbones, right? The sphenoid is a cheekbone. So raised cheekbone. So that curvature caused by the raising of the sphenoid is what he's actually describing. Can you imagine how much detailing he has done? So here he's saying that it will cause curiosity in everyone because they will mistake it to be Manmatha's bow. And when you look sideways through the corner of your eyes, it causes a radiance and it appears as if you are fixing a flower arrow to the bow. So now what has he done? He has described the place between the corner of the eyes and the earlobes. And this place, it is appearing to be curved like the bow of Manmatha. Right? Manmatha's bow, soft flowers. They don't hurt you. They don't hurt you, but they can make you Manmatha. Right? They can disturb your mind. But if that mind has to be fixed, then the bow has to be in Devi's hand. And when there is a bow, there has to be an arrow. So her slight glance, kataksha, and we have seen the power of the kataksha earlier, isn't it? We have seen that whenever it is only her one small glance that she gives to us and we are gone. It is enough for us. That side glance is that arrow which is fixed on the bow of Manmatha, the beautiful bow, similar to that like of Manmatha, and she uses that. See, it is said that her kataksha causes disturbance in the mind of Shiva. Now, what did Shiva do? He burnt Manmatha directly. When Manmatha came in front, he burnt. Correct? We know the story. But when Devi looked sideways at him, he got disturbed. What is this sideways and directly? You cannot grasp Shiva and go and try to capture him through your force of action. Our force of action, kama. Kama is desire, right? Not only physical desire, all types of desire. Our physical desire, our mental desires, our desires are not enough to be able to capture Shiva. But if you want to capture Shiva, go through Devi, he is captured. If you go through Devi, because Devi has already captured him. So you go through Devi, and Devi being the mother, she is very much more accessible than Shiva. That is what Acharya is saying here, right? So he says that on one hand, he is talking of this. On the other, he is also talking of the union of Shiva and Devi, right? Because when I just now said, she has already captured him, which basically means that they are one. See, if you capture a country, right? Ukraine has been captured by Russia. What is Russia claiming? Oh, it is one country. Ukraine is part of us, absorbed. Similarly, when she has captured Shiva, what has she done? She and Shiva have become one. There is no two-ness over there. It is a completely non-dual advaitic state. So that is the meaning, one meaning. Another argument that we can look at is that love, when we talk of love, and I'm not talking of kama, I'm talking of prema. Prema is a part of life. But prema, we have seen, no, in many Christian churches, you will see love is God. Right? Absolutely true. Because divinity is prema. What is prema? Prema is the compassion for this entire universe. Right? And it asks for nothing in return. Now, all the love that we have, whether it is for something, somebody, whether it is a physical thing, or that physical thing we love, I love my phone. Just an example, I love my phone. Why? My phone. That is why I love it. Right? How many trees would have got cut for making a particular road? How many trees? But just that one tree under which you stood for one day when it was raining, that tree when it got cut, oh, kitna acha ped tha. See, you got something and therefore, or you expected something and it got met and therefore there was affection. So I don't even want to use the word love. Love comes to us when it says, I am ready to give everything of mine and expect nothing in return. There is no minus. That comes to us only from two places. One, it comes from our Guru, and two, it comes from Devi. None other will give you this. Not even our own mothers, not even our own parents. Right? They expect respect in return. They expect to be taken care of in return. There is always that small bit of expectation. That changes love into affection. Prema comes from the divine alone. And which is why we say, no, Guru is nothing but Parabrahman. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So therefore, here we are saying, in our Acharya is saying that love here is that compassion for others, because of which he provides the union with Shiva. So he begins to manifest in our own mind only when we start cultivating that compassion for others. Now, here is a very quick meditation technique that I will share. Meditation here does not mean dhyana. I am talking of dharana, right? We are talking of concentrating our mind on one particular aspect of the divine. Now, by focusing both the eyes on the ears, you will feel the vibrations in the Agnya Chakra. And if you continue to sit into this, you will be able to completely eliminate two of the indriyas that are actually disturbing you, sound as well as sight. So close your eyes, right? One of the practices you may want to try, not right now, you can practice it, sit in your normal time for meditation, and bring your sight to the ears, as if you are observing physically with your eyes, you are observing your ears. So what has happened? Your mind has now got concentrated. The eyes and the ears have stopped functioning, and the mind has got concentrated in that function, right? And because you are doing it in this area, this chakra starts getting activated. And when this chakra gets activated, you immediately go into a small, it may be only for a minute or so, but for a minute or so, nothing will be existing at that point of time. And you will feel that bliss. Why? Because the mind got switched off. The moment the mind is switched off, immediately there is bliss. Because bliss is always there. You are nothing but bliss. You are Sat, you exist, you are conscious, you are Chit, you are bliss. Our first two are not a problem. Oh yes, I understand, I exist. I here is defined by body, mind, intellect. I exist. I am conscious. Oh yes, of course I am conscious. I can see you, I can hear you. Not that consciousness, not that Sat. I exist irrespective of the body. I exist irrespective of the mind. I exist irrespective of my thoughts, of my intellect. I am still there. And we experience this on a daily basis. You go into deep sleep, you wake up and you say, oh, I woke up. At that point of time, your body did not exist in your consciousness. Your mind did not exist in your consciousness. Your intellect did not exist in your consciousness. Who observed that you were sleeping? Now we come to consciousness. How do you know you are not sleeping right now? You may have, I don't know about you, but I have had sometimes so vivid dreams that you feel that, everything was really happening. And then you wake up. Correct? How do you know you are not dreaming right now? Because of continuity. Correct? You remember, oh, okay, this person looks like this. Sitaji looks like this. Now, if Sitaji comes and sits here in front of me with a completely different face and I will not recognize her. If I wake up from my sleep and the ceiling, which I went to sleep, it was white, it becomes red. Oh, I go back to sleep and I wake up, again it is brown. I know I am dreaming. Whereas in continuity, there will be in the Jagrata Avastha, there will be continuity. Who is holding that continuity together? Consciousness. Right? Because before you went to sleep, your body, mind, and intellect were working. During sleep, they stopped working. When you woke up, they were working again. What linked both of those two? Consciousness. Sat and Chit, I can explain. How can I explain Ananda? So it is not explainable also. Hence, we may be able to understand. We may not experience it, but we may be able to understand Sat and Chit. Ananda has to be experienced only. And how will you experience it? Try this meditation. Try whether and see if this works. And you will get that 1 minute of taste of Amrita. And that 1 minute taste of Amrita will give you an understanding, oh, this is what we have been talking about. This is what the Upanishads are talking about. This is what Acharya is talking about. Right? Let us, any questions? Otherwise, we will move to verse number 59. Sorry. Spuradanda bhoga pratifalita tatanga yugalam. Spuradanda bhoga pratifalita tatanga yugalam. Chatushchakram manye tava mukhamidam manmatharatham. Chatushchakramanye tava mukhamidam manmatharatham. Puradanda bhoga pratifalita tatanga yugalam. Chatushchakram manye tava mukhamidam manmatharatham. Yamaruhya druhyat druhyat yamaruhya druhyat yavaniratha arkenducharanam. Yamaruhya druhyat yavaniratham arkenducharanam. Mahaviro mara pramathapataye sajjitavate. Mahaviro mara pramathapataye sajjitavate. Yamaruhya druhyatyavaniratha markenducharanam. Mahaviro mara pramathapataye sajjitavate. Puradanda bhoga pratifalita tatanga yugalam. Chatushchakram manye tava mukhamidam manmatharatham. Yamaruhya druhyatyavaniratha markenducharanam. Mahaviro mara pramathapataye sajjitavate. Surad Ganda Bhoga. Ganda sthalam, cheeks. So now we have come away from eyes, then earlobes, the space here, the cheekbones, the top of the cheekbones. Now he's talking of the cheeks. So this is the Ganda sthalam, the cheeks. Sphurat, shining cheeks. She has applied, what is it called? Rouge, right? Though red, you've applied that. So she has applied. No, she doesn't need to apply. It is naturally shining. Right? It is naturally shining. So, Spurat Ganda Bhoga, Pratifalita Tatanga Yugalam. Pratifalita, reflective. Tatanga, earrings. Yugalam, 2 pair. Chatushchakram, 4 wheels. Chatushchakram. Manya means appearing, or I think as Tava Mukhamidam. This face of yours, Manmatha Ratham. So your face is appearing like Manmatha's Ratha with 4 wheels, right? The Tatangas and the cheeks. Together, 4 wheels. Yam Aruhya. Aruha means to get on. Ashwarudha. Right from there, the Aruha, to get on. Yam Aruhya, mounting on that chariot. Druhyati, fighting. Avani Ratham. Avani, the earth. Right? You have heard this name, right? Some people are called Avani. Avani means the earth, Prithvi. Avani Ratham. Arkendu Charanam. So, Arka, Indu. Arka is sun, Indu is moon. The feet of this chariot, that is the wheels, they are the sun and the moon. Mahaviro Mara, the great warrior called Mara. Mara means Manmatha. Ramatha Pataye and Shiva. Right? So, great hero. Why is he called great hero? Because he kills everybody. He has the power to kill everybody. Ultimately, even Shiva fell under his trap. Right? Devi captured him. So, Devi's capture, she used the power of Manmatha. Actually, she is the source of power of Manmatha. Manmatha is one of the deities who is supposed to be one of the upasakas of Devi. Manmatha came back alive only because of Devi's interference or involvement. So here he is saying, your face with a pair of earrings that is reflecting upon the cheeks. So here there are 2 wheels, they are reflecting upon the lustrous cheeks. So 2 more wheels are appearing over here. Then they are appearing to me as the chariot of Manmatha with 4 wheels. Manmatha is sitting on this chariot fighting against Shiva. And who is Shiva? Shiva is one who uses the earth as his wheel, as his chariot. When did he do that? Oh, if you read that beautiful description of what is called Tripura Vinasha. So when he killed the Tripura, so the story is that when Skanda killed the Tarakasur, he had three sons, Tarakaksha, Kamalaksha, and Vidyunmali. And they were great devotees of Shiva. So they said, okay, Shiva has killed my father because or Shiva's Amsha, Skanda has killed our father because our father was not in the right lines of dharma. We will follow that. So they started worshipping Shiva, and then Shiva appeared in front, and they took a boon from him that they will have three cities, one of gold, one of silver, and one of iron. And these three could be floating cities, and they could go anywhere they wanted. However, in orbit, because of gravity, they will have to be in orbit. They will come aligned only once in some large number of years. And they could be killed only if one arrow would be used only at the time of alignment to pierce all the three cities. Now, ultimately, long story, but to cut it short, ultimately Shiva did that. To do that, he stood on the earth as his chariot. The sun and the moon became its wheels. Brahma became the charioteer. And the tip of the arrow was Vishnu. The Vedas became the horses, and so on and so forth. So here is this beautiful description of Manmatha, all desire, and Shiva. And where are they fighting? That fighting is happening on the face of Devi itself. Acharya is seeing a cosmic event in the face of Devi. Right? So what does it mean? We will go there later, one by one. So now, firstly, you have to understand Parashakti is very, very fond of Manmatha. That is why she resurrected him. And he was resurrected without a form. He is therefore called Ananga. Ananga means he does not have a anga. He does not have a body. Right? One of his names is Ananga. So, Parashakti here is wearing these pair of earrings. They are reflected in her cheeks. She has resurrected Manmatha. Manmatha has decided to fight against against Shiva, who has ascended the earth using that as a chariot and with sun and moon as the wheels. This is the basic interpretation, the direct literal interpretation. We have to go into a little bit of depth. What is Manmatha? Manmatha is desire. By attempting to induce Shiva into desire, he got himself burnt. Correct? Shiva is completely pure. He has no vritti in his mind. Vritti is agitation. Right? What is yoga? Chitta vritti nirodha. Right? Patanjali says. Chitta, mind, vritti, disturbance, nirodha. Vritti means disturbance. He is a yogi, which means he is in yoga, which means he has no chitta vritti. Correct? So, therefore, he becomes the source of light to this entire universe. He is therefore, in the Shakta tradition, Shiva is called Prakasha. He is Prakasha. But we cannot receive that Prakasha unless it comes to us through Devi, which is, therefore, Devi is called Vimarsha. So, the whole process here is that when Manmatha intervenes, he translates this, and Manmatha at that Parashakti level, not at the physical level. He translates, with the power of Devi, he translates this Prakasha into Vimarsha so that we can take that reflection. Can we look at the sun? Can we look at the moon? Simple, isn't it? It's the same light. But when we receive it through the moon, it becomes so beautiful. We always praise the beautiful moonlight, the gentle moonlight, and etc. etc. Also, the moon has all those ever-changing features. Sun has no changes. Therefore, there are 16 kalas. We have seen the Kala Devis, we have seen the Nitya Devis and all that, which we saw in verses 1 to 49. So how did Manmatha come to this position where Parashakti is using him to do this? It is through the mantra called the Panchadashi mantra. Actually, there are 3 schools of the Mula mantra of Lalita. All the 3 schools have Panchadashi mantras, 15-lettered mantras. The typical mantra that we know, and if you look at the internet, you will find is Kaya Ila Reem, etc., which comes to us called the Kadi Vidya. Ka Adi Vidya, right? 2 meanings. Ka Adi means starting, Adi, first. Also, Ka Adi, Ityadi, Ka, etc. This comes to us from Lopamudra. But Manmatha also is known to be the user of this Kadi Vidya only. Agastya also used to worship Devi. And Agastya, and we know that, right? Because Agastya received the Lalita Sahasranam from Hayagriva at Kailash. I've told you the story of how I experienced that over there. So that Hayagriva giving the mantra to Agastya, he gave what is called the Hadi Vidya. He gave what is called the Hadi Vidya. The mantra starts with Ha. It is not very widely practiced now. There are schools, but it is not very widely practiced. Durvasa Muni practiced another mantra called the Sadi Vidya. So it started with Sa. That mantra itself is lost. So we do not have that mantra. It is there. I mean, somebody has found it. It is there on the internet. I've seen it in some reference to a text. I have not found it myself. I've seen that reference to a particular text. Jokingly, I was discussing this with somebody. I said, see, Sadi Vidya would have vanished anyway because Durvasa Muni would have cursed all his disciples to become ants or some donkeys or something. So somebody's pronounced the mantra wrong. Hey, you become a donkey. Right, you become an ant. So all the Bichara students have all taken the mantra and they've gone into vanished into becoming some other things. So I mean, actually, Durvasa Muni did not have any direct students. So he was a roamer. He used to roam around. So he did not have an ashram. He did not have very direct students. So hence, Sadi Vidya possibly got lost because of that also. Whereas Agastya and Lopamudra were Rishi and Rishi Patni, and they used to stay in one place, and they also had an ashram across the Vindhyas, which Ram, in his going towards Kishkinda, he met Agastya and Lopamudra also. So that is the other part of it. So the face of Parashakti is so beautiful that even Shiva ultimately succumbed to it, right? And in Soundarya Lahari, in verse number 5, we have seen that, right? I have also told you about the Mohini avatar of Vishnu, where in the Brahmanda Puranam we have seen that Devi's 1/16th power was taken by Vishnu, and he transformed himself into Mohini, and that Mohini disturbed the equanimity of Shiva, which produced the whole story of Hariharaputra and so on and so forth. So that is the second part. Tatanga, side story, nothing to do with the Soundarya Lahari. At Tiruvannai Kaval in Trichunapalli, there is the Devi over there is called Akhilandeshwari. And she had the energy of that was so heavy that it was becoming impossible to worship her. Acharya made two merus, two small merus, absorbed the power of Devi, split it into two, put it in the tatangas, and she is adorned with those tatangas. So the power was concentrated away from the physical murti. These tatangas are renewed once in some number of years. And that is a big process. And one of the sources of the dispute between the Sringeri Math and the Kanchi Math is the authority as to who is supposed to do the Tatanga renewal once in 12 years or once in some 40 years or whatever be that number. Those Tatangas' power was also at one point of time becoming less. And so therefore the power reverted back into the Devi's Murti. Right. This is during the time of Mahapariva, and they went to him and they said, we are unable to, every day morning, we don't know what is happening. Every time the Shivacharya who opens the door and he falls flat and becomes unconscious. We thought that he is getting epileptic attacks, so we changed him. We got somebody else. Even the same thing happened to him. And it kept on happening like this. Acharya thought for some time and he said, make a Ganapati at the same height of Devi. So a pedestal on which Ganapati is placed. If you go to Tiruvannaikaval and go to Akhilandeshwari, you will see right in front of her, there is this. And he said, Paramacharya said that when the door is opened, you should not stand in front. You should open the door from the sides. Her view should first fall on that Ganapati. After that, you can enter. So the moment she sees her son, she quells her own energy. And then she becomes more approachable. Now, what is the lesson here? What is our lesson? Paramacharya also was, all this was Leela, right? What is our lesson? What are we supposed to learn from this? Devi is Mula Prakriti. She has all types of forms. She has all types of nature. She has all types of behavior, right? But if we become like children to her, in my mind, if she is the mother and nothing else, then her drishti towards us also becomes equally acceptable, whatever she is doing. It doesn't matter then as to what she does. It is my mental attitude of accepting whatever is happening in my world, in my nature, in my surroundings. That is the learning. That is the lesson, right? I don't know about you people, but I used to get, my father never beat me up. Neither did my grandfather, but my mother has broken number of the belan on my back. Number of belans have been broken. When she was thrashing me, whose name was I calling out? My mother only. I was not crying Papa. I was not crying Dadaji or Gurudev or nothing. I was shouting Mummy, 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 Mama, Mama, Mama. Right? Why? Because that unshaken faith that even if she is beating me or hitting me or whatever, it is for me. It is me. She is my mother. Do we accept Mula Prakriti also at that level? Once we do, then life becomes so much easier. Or today you have a problem, you have to sleep on the floor, you have a pain in your hand, somebody has died, you have an illness. It is mother. Next day, you get a lottery ticket, you get a better job, your health suddenly becomes excellent, you have a whole bunch of friends coming to your house without even announcing, and they are having a great time. It is also mother. Both sides. Are we able to accept in our mind that that is how we are to be? Is this lesson from Paramacharya's Akhilandeshwari behavior. Right. Now let us move on to the Yoga Meenakshi Stotram. So Yoga Meenakshi Stotram, we talked about this last time, I think. We talked about Agastya Muni and how he went to the south and he has done so many leelas uh, in our Purans. There are so many things that he has done, all of that. He has also composed a large number of stotras. Aditya Hridayam is one of the famous ones, which has also been composed by Agastya Muni. It was not composed at the war. It was composed and given to Sri Ramchandra when in the Ramayana, when he visits Agastya and Lopamutra. Agastya Muni tells him that your Kuladeva is Surya. You are Surya Vanshi. And therefore, you should do this stotram. And this will be, and you are also a Kshatriya, so it will help you in warfare. So, the stotra is given over there. Ram uses it during the war, and it is written over there. The entire stotra is written over there. So, and it is written over there that Agastya gave this to Ram and so on and so forth, also has been mentioned in the stotra itself. So, there are many such things in the Ayyappa tradition. Also, Agastya has a very strong and large role to play. So, here is the first shloka. Today we will do only the first shloka. We will get the drift of what the Muni is trying to do, and then we will move faster from the next time. Shivananda Piyusha Ratnakarastham. Shivananda Piyusha Ratnakarastham. Shiva Brahma Vishnavamaresha Vandyam. Shiva Brahma Vishnavamaresha Shiva Brahma Vishnavamaresha Bhivandyam. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. Shiva Brahma Vishnu Amaresha Vishnavamareshabhivandyam. Shivananda Piyusha Ratnakarastham. Shiva Brahma Vishnavamareshabhivandyam. Shiva Dhyana Lagnam. Shiva Jnana Murtim. Shivakyamatitam Bhaje Pandyabalam. Shiva Dhyana Lagnam. Shiva Jnana Murtim. Shivakyamatitam Bhaje Pandyabalam. Shiva Ananda Piyusha. Piyusha means Amrita. The word Piyusha means Amrita. Now, we have to understand Samas is a way of putting words together to mean something. In the chapter 11, in chapter 10 of the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, of all the types of samas, I am Dvandva samas. Dvandva is a samas which cannot be interpreted, right? Sitaram. What does it mean? It means the pair called Sitaram. Radhe Krishna. It means that pair called Radhe Krishna, right? You cannot interpret it. And it is not Radha and Krishna. It is Radhe Krishna, one unit. Now, what happened is, when Paramacharya went to Kashi, the Pandits of Kashi are known to be arrogant. So they surrounded him and said, people have put Jagat Guru in front of your name. At least they had the respect for him to say that you have not put. Right? They said, people have put the title Jagat Guru in front of your name. How did you become the Jagat Guru? How did you become the Jagat Guru? So Paramacharya very beautifully played on the word, changed the samas from Tatbhava samas. The Guru of the Jagat is called Jagat Guru. That is Tatbhava. For whom the Jagat is the Guru, is also Jagat Guru. This is called Bahubrihi samas. He changed the meaning completely. By changing the nature of the samas, by defining the samas differently, he said, if the Jagat is my Guru, then I am Jagat Guru. I take this entire world as my teacher. Which is what Shankaracharya himself did. When the Chandal came, right, in Manisha Panchakam, he very clearly says Anybody who teaches me is my guru. Teaches me what? The oneness of this universe. So here, Shivananda Piyusha Ratnakarastham. So Ratnakarastham, Ratnakara, Kara is hand, Ratnakara, jewel-like hands. Her hands are beautiful. They are divine. They are beautiful, right? Ratnakarastham. She is granting the joy of Shivananda. Now, one meaning is she gives the joy of Ananda, the immortal joy to Shiva. She is giving the joy to Shiva. That is also possible. Another meaning is she is granting Shivananda Piyusha. She is giving it to us. She is giving that Amrita or called Shivananda Piyusha to us. Both meanings are valid. One is she is facing towards Shiva. One, she is facing towards the world. So, and both meanings are perfectly valid. Because she is the transmitter, isn't it? We just now said she is Vimarsha. So she is the transmitter. She transmits Shivananda to us. But she herself is the source of Ananda for Shiva himself. So here, Agastya has done this. Now, what did Agastya intend? I don't know. He has written in Sanskrit. So we are taking the meanings, right? Always you have to remember, any interpretation of poetry that you do, you never know what the poet was trying to say, unless the poet is doing the Vyakhya himself. So here we are doing the interpretation. Now there are two possibilities. From a spiritual standpoint, both possibilities are valid. Same way, he says, Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Amaresha. Amaresha means the Lord of the immortals, Indra, Vandyam. He who is worshipped by Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Amaresha, and all of these together. We have seen that in the Soundarya Lahari also. All these of them, they're bowing down and their jewels are shining because of the radiance from her toes. It is her toenails, the radiance that is actually causing their crown to shine. Shiva Dhyana Lagnam, Shiva Jnana Murtim. Again, interpret this in two ways. He who is constantly in the dhyana of Shiva. Ulta. He for whom Shiva is constantly in dhyana. And both again are valid. Both again are valid. And it is so perfectly valid because what is Shiva is going to... So, okay, we'll not go into Tulsi Ramayana and say that, oh, Shiva, the only thing Shiva is doing is Ram, 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 and so on and so forth. Shiva Hridayaste, Vishnu Hridayaste, Shiva, that is there, right? That is part of it. But here, Shiva Dhyana Lagnam, she who is constantly in the dhyana of Shiva, Shiva is constantly in the dhyana of Shakti. That is why it is Shiva Shakti union. Then Shiva Jnana Murtim, he who creates the Jnana for Shiva, or alternatively, she is the one who takes the Shiva Jnana and gives it to us. Shiva Khyamatitam, he who goes on staring at Shiva. Again, reverse also. He is who Shiva is constantly staring at. So again, it's the same. Shiva Dhyana Lagnam, Shiva Khyamatitam. Bhaje Pandya Balam. Bhaje Pandya Balam because she was in the Pandya kingdom, right? Madurai is in the capital, was the capital of the Pandyas. So that is why Bhaje Pandya Balam, right? How did she land up in Madurai? And why is she over there? And what is this form called Meenakshi? We will talk about in the next class. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.